and more severe, Mr. Speaker, so I'm having a really, really hard time to blow. Thank you.
You would have to be a suicidal moron to blow up your own energy pipelines. That's the one thing you would never do.
All right, Shalom. First and foremost, giving all praise to Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai Ba'ashem Rachakwadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone who rule well. Peace and blessings to the hopeful elect. And Shalom to the men of the Lord that are prophesying, preaching, and teaching on the highways and byways in sincerity and in truth. Shalom Barakatham. And I'm going to do this is kind of like a part 2 on the Nordstream 2 explosion that basically happened, which for these sleeping jakes, man, who just refuse to see things. The same goes for you guys breaking down the charagma incorrectly. All right. Your head is in the sand, and the prophecy, the way that we break it down, here at Great Millstone is about to be found to be true, man, to be proven true and accurate. All right. Now we're gonna read. We got a couple precepts, because this ain't nothing new to us, man. We all know that Europe was gonna turn on America. All right. We just didn't know what the catalyst would be. We didn't know what the starting event would be that would kick it off. But this could very well be it, man, because people don't understand what that means for all of your basically energy. That pipeline is pretty much gone permanently. Like they would have to completely rebuild a new pipeline entirely. Like they can't repair that. Once that seawater gets into those pipelines, that's basically a wrap. It corrodes and rusts everything. So that coming before winter, man, is about to be great distress on the European continent, man. But let's listen to what this guy Tucker Carlson has to say, because he does a pretty good analysis. This is kind of a long video, but I'll skip through it, Lord willing, to make this shorten this up a little bit.
Natural gas pipelines are the main source of your power and your wealth, and most critically, your leverage over other countries. Europe needs your energy, now more than ever with winter approaching. If you can't deliver that energy, then countries like Germany have no need to pay attention to what you want. You're in the middle of a war, an all-hands-on-deck war, so you need all the leverage you can get. Under these circumstances, there is no chance you would blow up Nord Stream 1 or 2. Not now, obviously. In fact, it's so obvious that even our famously dim Secretary of State, Tony Blinken, seemed to acknowledge it. Sabotaging Nord Stream, he said today, is, quote, clearly in no one's interest.
Right. So that basically proves, he's breaking it down, that Russia would not, it's not in their interest to do it, is basically what he's saying. And it makes all the sense in the world. All right. Because that's their leverage. And Russia does not need, if they wanted to give up their leverage, they wouldn't have to go explode it. They can just turn it off. The source of it is in Russia. When you look at the map, it comes from Russia. Nord Stream 2. Okay? So they can just turn it off, man, So that begs the question, why was it sabotaged?
Yes. That even our famously dim Secretary of State, Tony Blinken, seemed to acknowledge it. Sabotaging Nord Stream, he said today, is, quote, clearly in no one's interest. Right. But really only half right. It is true that blowing up Nord Stream does not help Vladimir Putin. He would not do that. Why would he? But that doesn't mean that other countries wouldn't consider doing it. They would consider it, and we know they have considered it because at least one of them has said so in public. In early February, less than 3 weeks before the war in Ukraine began, Joe Biden suggested on camera that he might take out these pipelines. Watch.
If Russia invades, that means tanks or troops crossing the border of Ukraine again. Then there will be no longer a Nord Stream. We will bring an end to it.
Right. He just said we will bring an end to it. Now, what authority does he have to bring an end to a pipeline that's between Russia and Germany? You see? But now you see how the things are going to upset the balance that's going over there in Europe because of the pride of these people, man. This guy represents the whore in the scripture spoken about, man. Germany, their people, those leaders, even if they might be in cahoots with Biden, they're going to turn against them because their people can't heat their homes. They're gonna go after these politicians, man. That's coming. The scriptures speak about an insurrection, a great insurrection. You know, it speaks about them that fear the Lord, but it's going to be fighting in all cities, man, all nations. All right, this is Revelation 17 and 16. I just go straight to it. 16. It says, "And the 10 horns which thou sawest upon the beast, these shall hate the whore." Now, this is a prophecy. They will hate the whore. Now, we know what the beast is. It's a compilation of the Edomite nations that currently occupy Europe, all right, that form 10 kingdoms, all right, 7 lands and 10 kingdoms, okay, and they're what's known colloquially today as NATO, all right. Well, they're not known as NATO, but NATO is the military alliance that they have between those two nations, all right. Besides that, you have the United Nations. I mean, you have the European Union, and then you have the United States, and then you have the United Nations that kind of unify all the nations, you know. But the 10 horns is speaking about the European nations, man, including England and America, all right. There's a whore that sits on top of the beast with these 10 horns. That whore is America, all right? It says, "And shall make her desolate and naked, and shall eat her flesh and burn her with fire." All right? What's going to cause them to do? What could possibly cause Esau's own people to turn against them so viciously and violently, man? Where they, to the point where they nuked this place. Yeah, people dying horrific deaths, man. It doesn't take much when you think about it.
How will you do that exactly, since the project and control of the project is within Germany's control?
We will, I promise you, we'll be able to do
it. So she said, "How will you do that?" And he says, look, listen, I promise you, we're going to be able to do it. What does that mean? That means we ain't got to ask permission for the German chancellor. We ain't gotta go through Putin. We gonna take it out. Like, come on, man. You gotta be slow to think that this is anything else but what it obviously is, you know.
Notice how he phrased that. And he's the president. Doesn't phrase things by accident, particularly when he's reading off cards. He didn't say, "I will pause the delivery of gas from Russia to Germany." He said, "There won't be a Nord Stream 2. We'll put an end to it. We'll take it out. We'll blow it up." "How will you do this?" he was asked. "I promise you we will be able to do it." They thought this through. And yet those watching, very much including us, didn't take Biden seriously when he said it. This is the president who has declared climate change the most pressing emergency in the history of the world. This is the man who lectures you about using a wood stove or driving an SUV because of its emissions. This is the guy who spent billions trying to mitigate cow flatulence because methane. Would that guy really blow up a methane pipeline in the middle of the Baltic Sea? It was hard to imagine. That would be an...
Yes, they would, because we're ruled by hypocrites, man. You know, on one hand, Esau is raking in billions and billions of dollars of so-called green energy, green initiatives, fighting climate change. How much money gets donated to under the name of climate change, right? But who is the cause of all the climate bullshit, man? It's this guy who does the most polluting. You people. So yes, it's very easy to believe that they would be so much of a hypocrite. You see? It's very easy to believe that now the average person that's just sleep, they have a hard time believing it because they're reprobates, and they've been blinded. They've been put under a deep sleep. But everybody else, it's clear, it's plain as day, man.
Unimaginably reckless act. That'd be the kind of thing you would do if you wanted to start a nuclear war. It would be insane. And yet, in retrospect, it's obvious they were thinking about this because Joe Biden wasn't the only person to suggest it. Toria Nuland at the State Department said pretty much the very same thing. Nuland is a lifelong war cheerleader. She worked to bring about the Iraq invasion, never apologized, kept going. She helped engineer the coup that overthrew the Ukrainian government some years back. So clearly she's capable of anything. But environmental terrorism, even for Toria Nuland, that seemed too much.
Hey, the Lord is gonna fuck that bitch up, man. These fucking Edomites gotta go, man. This fat, nasty bitch who would never pick up an arm in her life. She's gonna send other men to war to die. All right, she's gonna start global conflicts, millions of people dying, nuclear war for what? Yo, the Lord's gonna fuck these people up, man. All right, she's gonna be on the plantation very soon, man. And there's a reason why the Lord is letting it get this bad, where we have to sit here and watch and suffer it. You see, because everybody can see the same news, but the average person you talk to have no idea about this. They're blinded. It's not suffering to them because they're in ignorance. But the Lord is letting it be manifest who the wicked are, man. And pretty soon, the elect is gonna know. That's 1/3 of Israel. That's gonna be billions of people, man. All right. And it's gonna be undeniable what needs to happen next, because this is out of control, man. You can't let her. You can't. This is a woman too, man. You cannot let the earth be run by these people continuously, man. It's got to be regime change. Period.
Extreme, and yet here she is in January.
With regard to Nordstream 2, we continue to have very strong and clear conversations with our German allies, and I want to be clear with you today.
Yeah, but those German allies are ready to fuck you up now. Because you waited until you put sanctions on Russia, you compromised the energy import, all right, into Europe that these people are relying on to heat their homes, and then you blow the shit up, man. And you calling them an ally. Germany, these other nations, they know, man. They're fuming right now. They're just waiting for their opportunity. And this is the opportunity is going to present itself when we read Revelation, the 16th chapter, man. But anyway.
If Russia invades Ukraine, one way or another, Nord Stream 2 will not move forward.
She straight up said it.
One way or the other, we'll stop Nord Stream. Now, looking back, those words seem chilling 8 months later as natural gas pours into the Baltic Sea and into the atmosphere. So you have to ask, could the Biden administration really do something like this? We can't say for sure. We don't know for sure. We can tell you that close allies of the Biden White House believe they certainly did do it. Radek Sikorski is a Polish politician. He's chairman of the EU-USA delegation in the European Parliament. He's connected. He's also the husband of regime stenographer Ann Applebaum of The Atlantic magazine. Sikorski is so close to Joe Biden that he's got a picture of the two of them together in his Twitter profile. So when the pipelines blew up, Sikorski responded immediately, and here's what he wrote. Thank you, USA. So once again, did the Biden administration really do this? It's hard to believe. Given that it's an atrocity, it's effectively an act of terrorism, we don't want to make that accusation.
Yeah, but Esau, they're the biggest terrorists on the planet. They've spent so much money convincing you that they're holier than thou, that the average person just when Esau does something, especially our people, when Esau does something wicked, they don't see it as an atrocity. They wouldn't label it with terrorism. They look at it with this soft look. But Esau's labeling people with that terrorist word for way, way, way less, man. And when you really look at what the terrorism is, it's so-called white people. There's no way to get around it. Yes, other nations, they go off and they do things, but the vast majority of wickedness on the planet Earth is heralded and normalized through the hegemony of Esau Edom, the UN, the International Monetary Fund, the World Bank, the World Health Organization, the EU, the United States, the American military. How much wickedness has been done, man? How much has to go on? The British Empire, they've yet to return any of those crowns and jewels and natural resources they've stolen from all over China, India, Africa. But this thing is getting ready to blow, man.
But we should tell you that, maybe not coincidentally, today a brand new pipeline was unveiled. A pipeline that carries non-Russian natural gas in roughly the same area as Nord Streams 1 and 2. This is called the Baltic Pipe. It was inaugurated in Poland. It will carry natural gas from Norway through Denmark to Poland and other countries nearby. And it's likely to do very well since now it has less competition. Making sense? What does the White House say about this? How are they accounting for what happened today?
Right. So you see the NATO countries. Poland could have had something to do with it, right? This is all a big money play, man. You can clearly see, clear as day, man, that this thing is it's getting ready to blow, man. But I'm gonna read this and I'll close out, man. This is Jeremiah 50. We just went over this recently, man. But I'll read it again because it bears repeating, man. It says Jeremiah 50 and 40. It says, as the Most High overthrew Sodom and Gomorrah and the neighbor cities thereof, saith the Lord Yahweh, so shall no man abide there, neither shall any son of man dwell therein. Speaking about America, all right, when it gets hit with nukes, it says, behold, a people shall come from the north, and a great nation, and many kings shall be raised up from the coast of the earth. All right. And who's the north? That's really these European nations, man. All right. It says they shall hold the bow and the lance. They are cruel and will not show mercy, man. What's gonna cause them to do that, man? Now, when you say the bow and the lance, this is talking about missiles, man. These are talking about first world countries, so to speak, that are armed with missiles. And it says they're gonna be cruel. What's gonna cause them to be cruel? We're seeing it right now. I'm gonna Google the population of Europe real quick, just to see how many people. 746 million people live in Europe as of 2018. So you know that's over 800 million by now. That was 4 years ago. This is over 800 million people in Europe, man. So 10% of the world's population lives right here in Europe. You see? And a major energy source just got compromised big time. This is that North country. What's going to cause them to be so mad that they're going to shoot missiles on America, man? This. All right. It says, verse 42, they shall hold the bow and lance, and they are cruel, they will not show mercy. Their voice shall roar like the sea, and they shall ride upon horses, every one put in array, like a man to the battle against thee, O daughter of Babylon, man. All right? And that daughter of Babylon is that whore of Babylon, man. You see? But watch this whole Tucker Carlson interview. You all can get a chance, man. I'll end it there, man. Hopefully you brothers were edified. Call halal Yahweh, Bahashim Yahweh Shai, Bahashim Rachak Wadash, Wa Abba Babal, and Shalom.